Good morning, friends. Well, I guess it's afternoon by now. Yeah, I was sick all weekend, so yeah. So anyway, I'm better now, I think. Um, Today I have something interesting to talk to you about, especially if you're a senior, okay? So, I never made enough in my lifetime to save up or have life insurance, for myself. And with the fact that Bert has dementia now and we can't per se get him some life insurance unless it's for minimum amount of money, for funeral or whatever. And it wouldn't even cover a funeral. So I was thinking about that, and this lady kept calling me. I mean, she was calling me like clockwork. I wouldn't even answer the phone half the time. I'm not going to tell you the insurance company because, I don't want to piss anybody off. But anyway, she kept calling and calling and calling, trying to get me to do some life insurance with her. And I explained to her in a nice way, that Bart's 79 and I know that it's hard to get insurance at that age because, he has other problems too, and but that I was thinking about getting insurance for me. I'm 68. So I thought, well, if I can afford it, because the more older you get, the more money it is, right? So what I did is I started talking to her, and she started giving me all these options, okay, if you will. Now, this is the same, we're going to talk about the same insurance company all the way through unless I say it's something else. Okay. So anyway, she I can't speak this morning. If you remember, I said earlier, she bothered me for at least a month, at least. And I would tell her, I'm sorry, I'm not interested, and I would hang up. I'm real good about that with salespeople. It drives me crazy. But anyway, so she gave me several different options. And I can't remember the name of the program, each program. But one was $600 and something a month. And 300 and something for me, so that's about $1,000 a month. And then and then I said, well, that's out of my reach for sure, And she said, okay, well, let me see what else we got here. So then she went to this other program they had, and she said, well, we can give you like a pay-as-you-go program. Okay, what's a pay-as-you-go life insurance program, right? So she told me, so that one was $200 and something a month. Now, that didn't include Bert. That was only for me because by this time she told me, well, that's really the only insurance I got that would cover Bert at his age. And so just for me, it would be $200 and something a month. And I know I can't afford that. I would pay it for a month, and then what would happen, So I'd be throwing money away. I've done it before, so, But anyway, so she came up with another one, another kind of program for me, where I would get $5,000, or my family would get it to pay for, whatever, a funeral, cremation, whatever. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I just read that the cheapest cremation is about $8,000 now. So what is that going to do? And I don't plan on dying until I'm 103. So is that going to be around when I am? And no, it won't be, because it's like term life insurance. Like after so many years that they think you should live or die, however you want. Then, but don't worry, you can borrow from that money. Yeah, I'm sure I can. So anyway, I kind of just hung up the phone and said, before I hung up, I said, I'm going to have to sit down and put together a budget and see what I can do. Because I really intended to. I mean, even though I know we really can't afford it, you know. But anyway, Bert is a veteran, so he does have some type of death benefit for himself. So that's good. It's good that he's got that. But anyway, so I forgot all about it. So today I get this letter in the mail, okay? And this is what it says. Hold on, I was reading it. Okay, it says, thank you for applying for insurance with our company. We would like to insure everyone under a life policy, but we are not always able to do so. So I stopped right there because I figured, okay, this must be about Bert. You know, she told me that they couldn't do Bert, so it must be about him. But of course, I've learned to read shit, okay? So I read on, and it said, our decision to not issue the coverage requested was based in whole or in part on a report we received from Millman IntelliScript regarding your prescription drug history. During the enrollment process, you authorized the release of your pharmacy records to help us determine your eligibility for insurance. Well, yeah, I did, you know, vocally, but I did. You know, I told them they could check. I mean, I wasn't thinking I was taking anything that was like out of the way, you know. And it said, please note that Milliman did not make this decision and they are not able to explain why the decision was made. You may obtain a copy of your prescription history report at no cost if you contact Milliman within 90 days from the date of this letter, which, by the way, I am going to do. You have the right to dispute any information contained in the report. They are located at, and they give you the address. If you would like additional information concerning this action, please submit a written request within 90 days of the date of this notice to New Business Department, blah, 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 insurance company, and the address. Attached to this letter is your initial premium check. And they sent me a check for $1. I don't know. But anyway, so it wasn't for Bert. It was for me. So they turned me down. They turned me down for the cheapest, smallest life insurance policy. And I said, wow, let's see. What do I take that would, you know, constitute you turning me down? You know, like I want to know, is some of this shit going to make me die or what? I'm serious. So anyway, so I take blood pressure medication. I take Prozac. I take, I take a half a Xanax a day, and it's like 0.05 or something, and I've been taking that same amount for 20 years. Never increased it, okay? And I take cholesterol medicine, and I take the weight loss / diabetes shot. That's it. So, which one do you think that they turned me down for? And I don't know yet. I mean, I have no idea. So I am going to do exactly what this little letter tells me to do. I am going to write them today, and excuse me, and I am going to ask them to explain to me why I was turned down, okay? And that's the company, and then the other company, that holds the prescriptions. You know, they have this big old company now, and I mean, they asked me years ago for permission to put all this, you know, on the pharmacy thing so every doctor could look at it if they had to. I thought that was safe, so I did, you know. And being as I do take Xanax, you know, even though it's a minuscule amount, they're going to put that on there anyway, because they were doing that in Kentucky because there was so much drug abuse and stuff like that going around that, and people were dying and overdosing and, you know, stuff like that. And I was all for that, you know. And then I get this letter in the mail today, and I'm like, I want to know, what medication do I take? And why are you denying me? I just, you know, it's not that I want it so bad, you know, because my kids, if they want, they can. I'm even trying to downsize so that when or if, I mean, it's a when, I know, something happens, my kids wouldn't have to sit here and fight over all the crap. And, you know, I already gave directions about the family stories and the pictures and who gets what on that. And the rest of the shit, you know, I could care less. But anyway, but yeah, so I've been, you know, doing that in the last couple of years because I remember what I went through with one of my ex-husbands, and his mom died and everybody was fighting over everything, and I thought, Jesus Christ, let me go back to Chicago for a while and just chill, because I can't take this, you know? I mean, they're supposed to be thinking about the person. And when I die, I want a party. I want disco music, okay? John Travolta, if he's still around. You know, so, yeah, I thought I would get on here and share that with you so you guys will know what everybody's doing nowadays, because I do know, and I didn't know that it was illegal to do that, but car insurance wise, I don't know about house insurance wise because I ain't checked into it, but car insurance wise, they are able to check your credit report, and by George, you better have a good credit rating or your insurance money's going doop, straight up to the sky. And that's no bullshit. That's true. And so last year I got a letter from, it's like a form letter from my insurance, my car insurance, and they told me that I guess they got in trouble for checking people's credit. They weren't supposed to be basing, which I didn't think so either. You ain't supposed to base somebody's amount that they pay for insurance on whether their credit is good or bad. You're supposed to look at the motor vehicle report. I did work in insurance for a while. I've worked in a lot of areas, guys. And that's all we ever did. Run the mobile, you know, the vehicle history. And that's what it's supposed to be based on. Tickets, stuff like that. No, they were using credit ratings. Somebody must have got that overturned, changed, whatever, because they got in trouble for doing that or something. So I think that's good, because there was another thing that I learned when we lived in Georgia with insurance. We moved from Florida to Georgia, border of Florida and Georgia, but we were on the Georgia side. And before we moved there, I owned a mobile home, okay? And my insurance was terrible, and I thought, golly, I ain't had a ticket. I've had one ticket my whole life, and that's a fact, one ticket. But I didn't say nothing. We were paying it. But when we moved into the new house in Georgia, and I called in my insurance and said, hey, I want you to change it to a Georgia policy, blah, 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 blah. The girl actually told me, she said, I said, why is it so much less now than it was before, and it's the same amount of insurance, same deductible, everything. Same car. She said, well, you want me to tell you the truth? I said, sure. She said, you were living in a mobile home before. She said, now you're living in a house. That was the shock of my life, because I never understood how that would affect whether I drive well or not. And this is the absolute truth. I could not believe that. So they're going to judge somebody who lives in a mobile home, whether they own it, rent it, pay for it, whatever. They're going to judge them differently than they do somebody who lives in a house. A standalone single-family home. Because I experienced it. So I know it's damn true. You know, and it just chaps my ass. I'm sorry. You don't do that to people. We wonder why this country is so messed up with prices and all this other crap, because they get away with whatever they want to do. And this happens no matter who's president, okay? This happens no matter who's president. So, anyway, I don't want to keep you guys all day. I didn't want to do a morbid story this morning. But gee, I thought somebody should know that you better get some life insurance if you're young. Make sure it's whole life and keep it. Because once you get older, they don't want to insure you at all. And they will find a reason not to. Okay? So, when I get this, my excuse back why they denied me and get my list from the other company, I'm going to get back on here and give you an update. Yeah, because I think every elderly person should know. Because Medicare, the only thing you get when you pass away, your family will get $200 and something for your burial. I'm sure. What is that going to pay? You're going to put me in a cup and bury me? Because think about it. So, I mean, obviously, we all know insurance companies are in everything for the money. They are. They are in for everything. They are in for nothing but the money. And I remember Florida and all the changes they were going through because of the hurricanes and all these poor people that could not afford all the insurance. And they kept raising it. And then the governor got mad and he told them they couldn't raise it. So they all moved out of Florida, you know. And now they're back because he don't even know how to handle it. He was going to have some kind of fund, I guess, for people, and I don't know what happened. That went up Schitt's Creek or something. I don't know. But I love you guys. Have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed the video, even though it was about morbidity. We all have to go sometime. And if you would give me a thumbs up, I would appreciate it. If you will subscribe, I would appreciate it even more. And if you watch my videos all the way through, that's what counts. So I love all you guys. I'll be back with some more news. I'm not sure what our next show will be, but I hope that you'll enjoy it. It'll be something that seniors need to know. Love y'all. We'll talk at you later. Bye now.